You're not going to be able to go where you want to go if your habits are going in a different direction. Or if you want to go to point B and your habits are going to point C, what's going to happen? You're going to keep going in this direction even though you want to go in this direction, because your habits may be of oversleeping, of maybe smoking cigarettes, I don't know, of procrastinating, of habits of being a people pleaser. All these different things, character traits, or how we look at life, are going to really keep us going in a wrong direction if we let them. Hello, this is Lorraine, and welcome to Healthy Living, Spirit, Soul, and Body. So how many times have you tried to go forward on a certain project or had a goal in mind and you really couldn't go forward because of the habits that you had? Think about it. You can't go uphill with downhill habits, because habits are things that basically a lot of times you do without thinking. And if you're doing something without thinking, it's going to be very hard to change. I was listening to Ed Mylett and James Clear podcast about habits, and it was so good that I taught it to my small group, and I thought I would just share a couple of things on here that just were really eye-opening, that make you see that habits are not as hard as you would think to change, and it's not as hard as you would think to drop bad habits and get good habits. So I thought we'd talk about that today and just share a couple of points that James Clear shared that can make it a whole lot easier for you to change the trajectory of your life. Okay, so here we go. The outcomes in your life are directly related to your habits. You're not going to be able to go where you want to go if your habits are going in a different direction. Really think about it this way, and I was trying to think of a good analogy for habits, but the way I look at it is, if you're trying to get from point A to point B, the habits are paver stones that you put down one at a time to get you going to your goal, get you from point A to point B. However, if you want to go to point B and your habits are going to point C, what's going to happen? You're going to keep going in this direction even though you want to go in this direction, because your habits may be of oversleeping, of maybe smoking cigarettes, I don't know, of procrastinating, of habits of being a people pleaser. All these different things, character traits, or how we look at life, are going to really keep us going in a wrong direction if we let them. How many times do we feel like we want to go in a certain direction and we're like in a paper bag, we can't break our way out of it? We have to do things that are going to change the trajectory, change our direction to go towards our dreams and towards our goals. And here's the other thing too, habits compound. So say you have a habit, all of a sudden you start hanging around with somebody that likes to have ice cream. So every time you go out to eat, or you go out, or you're together, you go and get ice cream. But let's face it, if you do that 2 or 3 times a week, and in a week you're not really going to see that much difference. But however, the habit compounds. So as you keep doing it consistently, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start putting on some pounds. So you have to remember that if you're doing something consistently, and especially if you're not even thinking about it anymore, that's a habit, and it's good. You have to see where that habit is taking you. And here's the other thing that's interesting about habits, is that habits will change the way you see yourself. There was an illustration that James Clear gave, which I thought was really good. There was a gentleman that he found out about that had lost over 100 pounds, and he started the habit of working out by just driving to the gym. Okay, he didn't go in, he just went to the gym. And now he could see himself as, I'm a person that goes to the gym in the morning. Even the fact that it didn't matter whether he started working out or not, but he broke the trajectory of sleeping in and not doing anything. He did it by a simple little thing of driving to the gym. And that one action was a trigger, and it started him going in that direction. It changed the way he saw himself. He now saw himself as a person that goes to the gym. And that's the thing about habits. Habits will change the way you see yourself. So let's talk a little bit about some of the tips that James Clear shared. I also should mention that James Clear wrote the very well-known book called Atomic Habits. And it is something that I'm going to pick up soon because I want to hear what else he has to say. But he talks about the simple ways of creating new habits, because like I said, you can't go uphill, have uphill goals with downhill habits. So what's the answer is you have to change your habit. So a couple of things I want to share. If you watch this podcast for any length of time, I'm sure you've heard me talk about Terri Savelle Foy. And when she was in a very down place, she decided that she had to change some of the habits that she had. And one of them was she wanted to listen to faith-building messages every morning because she needed something to give her hope. And she thought to herself, how in the world am I going to remember to do that? Because I'm in a habit of listening to music while I put on makeup, or I'm not in the habit of doing that. What am I going to do? So she had a really simple thing that she did, where she got a Post-it and she wrote on the Post-it, push play. That's all she wrote. And she put it on her mirror in her bathroom. So what do you think happened? She woke up, she did her other habits, okay, her other routine in her morning. She got in the bathroom to put on her makeup and she saw the Post-it, real simple, push play. And she said, oh yeah, push play. So that's what she did. And she started that habit, and she said, I'm going to do it for 21 days. And guess what? She's still doing it, okay? And it's been years. So it's now a habit. And I'm sure she did not keep that Post-it. She doesn't still have the same Post-it and have it on her mirror to remind her to push play, because it is now a habit. So she was able to change her habits by doing something as simple as having a Post-it that said push play. So what are some things that James Clear said that can change the trajectory and start some healthy habits? He talks about what's called a habit loop. And a habit loop is, the steps are cue, craving, response, and reward. Okay? So the cue starts the habit. So let's talk about Terri Savelle Foy with her habit of listening to faith-building messages. The cue was what? The cue was the Post-it on her mirror. The craving was a prediction about what the cue was going to mean. So the craving was that she saw, wow, I'm going to listen to a faith-building message. It's going to build my faith. It's going to help me spiritually. I'm going to get smarter. I'm going to get wiser. That was her craving. That's what she wanted. That was her desire. The next thing is response, was doing the action, was pushing play. And the reward is she started realizing in time that she really was, that she expanded her whole life. It changed her. Why don't you right now think about a goal that you want to meet? Say you want to start working out, even if it's just 10 minutes in the morning before you go to work. So put some sort of Post-it or some sort of reminder on something that you're going to see in the morning when you wake up, maybe on your bathroom mirror, and just say, oh yeah, I'm going to work out 10 minutes this morning, and even have the video ready the night before that you're going to use. So see, it doesn't have to be hard. And here's the deal too. One of the beautiful things about habits is that when you have a habit, you no longer have to feel motivated to do anything. So once you get in the habit of working out, even if it's just for 10 minutes in the morning, you won't have to feel motivated It's a routine. It's part of your routine. It's a habit. Remember, habits are something that you do without thinking. So that's something really good to remember. And here's the thing too, always remember the power of habits. As you're doing these things, it may seem like a chore because habits may not have an instant reward, okay? Habits are almost like anything else. If you plant a seed in the ground, you're not going to see it sprouting up in a week. It's going to take time. But you have to have the faith that you planting the seed, you're giving it water, you're giving it plant food or whatever, it's going to grow up. And in the same way, you have to believe that even though there's not an instant reward, it's still going to compound. It's still going to make a difference in the long run. And you have to train yourself to not expect instant rewards. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. I would suggest that you do a little introspection and see what habits do you have that are really holding you back. What habits do you have that you really want to break? And not so much stop the habit, but think of it, a different habit. Think of a new habit that you can start that will change the trajectory and get you going in the right direction. And use those different things that I mentioned, that James Clear mentions. The cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. And it doesn't have to be as difficult as you think. And then put an app on your phone so that way you'll be consistent with it. Okay? But I hope you really, I hope this helped you see habits really do shape your life and keep you going in a direction. It may not be the right direction, but they keep you going in a certain direction. So you have the ability to change your habits, so go for it. So if you did like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and like and subscribe, share the video. And actually next week I am going to be doing something on healthy Thanksgiving dishes, different things that people normally make on Thanksgiving with a little bit of a twist. So have an absolutely wonderful day. Start thinking about what you're grateful for and get into the season. November is a wonderful time to start appreciating the different things in your life. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.